Hey, welcome back. This is the beginning of the 12 principles of animation. And in this video, I'm only going to handle slow in and slow out, squash and stretch, timing, and arcs. Why are these important and how do you use them? So today we're going to be talking about the 12 principles of animation, but we're mostly going to be talking about squash and stretch, slow and slow out, arcs I should say, and then timing. And the main example I'm going to be using today is this ball animation I did for the last video. And let me just play through this real quick. It's just a simple ball video. Now, squash and stretch, which is considered to be the most important principle, because you're showing a sense of weight and flexibility when you draw the item. If you notice, I'm going to scrub through this really slowly. I'm using stretch here to elongate the ball, stretch, and then this is the impact frame, and then it's squashing, and then stretching again. And so just because I've given the ball these characteristics, that goes to show that this is a very bouncy ball. It's probably rubber, it's probably soft, because it's able to move that way. But what if the ball did not stretch as much? Let's find out. I'm going to do another quick ball bounce, but this ball I will give very different characteristics, and let's see if you can spot how different these two balls are, and I'll speed up this portion of it. Okay, so you can already tell the difference between this ball's weight and this ball's weight. This ball obviously is very heavy. Using this principle gives objects a sense of weight and flexibility. Depending on how much you use this, from extreme to minimal, you could get a completely different effect. And extreme circumstances means that you're using it to illustrate more cartoony things, more bouncy things, more usually softer objects. That's why balls are very easy to show the principles of animation. If you can't show all these principles with a simple ball, then you won't be able to show it with the human body, which is seemingly very complex compared to a simple ball. And even though I didn't use any squash and stretch here, this actually shows still the weight. The lack of squash and stretch shows just how much heavier and denser this ball feels. Next, slow in, slow out. Most movements require time to accelerate and slow down. This principle is used to shift between two extreme poses. I'll use this example as a good one. If you notice, these first few frames are very close together. Let me turn on onion skinning. If you notice, look how close these frames are. This is the slow in, because you can tell that this movement is about to start. And then when you're going closer, the further apart things are, the faster the movement is going to be. And the closer together they are, the slower the movement's going to be. So slow in, slow out. The quickest or the easiest example to do is, again, balls. When I first started animating when I was in school, you almost get sick of doing ball tests or ball experiments, or because those are just the basics. I mean, these are the basics. So like I said, if you can animate a ball with movement and character, then you can animate anything. So here I'm going to draw a ball here. Whoops, it's a very bad ball. Bad ball. Holding shift can help you move things into a straight line, by the way. That's the shape tween. It's very even, right? But what if I just add a few keyframes? Insert keyframe. Ah, shit. So all I did was add in just a few keyframes between these first two and these last two, and then watch the difference. You get the illusion of it slowly starting. Like this is choppy. Let me there. Try this. So you get the illusion of it slowly starting out and then slowly stopping. Slow in and slow out. That also helps build anticipation, which is another principle of animation, but I'm going to use another example to show that. So, okay, arcs. Let's talk about arcs and why they are important to animation. If you notice, actually, let me turn on line skinning. This is a pretty lazy arc, but if you notice, all of these balls follow an arc. It's not a perfect arc, but they all follow an arc. And the reason why arcs are important is because life follows an arc, like real life. So it says most natural actions tend to follow an arched trajectory, and animation should adhere to this principle by following implied arcs for greater realism. This technique can be applied to a moving limb by rotating a joint or throwing an object moving along a parabolic trajectory. An object in motion that moves out of natural arc for no apparent reason will appear erratic rather than fluid. Wow, that was quite wordy. Alright, so watch this. We're going to watch him normal speed. Alright, you see his arm swinging there? That's an arc. His legs are following an arc. Hell, even his shoulders are on an arc, side to side. See, look, someone's using this walking video for animation, so that's great. this is one of the things about animation that a lot of people don't care for, is tweaking. And this is why it's very important to plan out your animations and do them in small bits and pieces, because you don't want to do this long, massive animation and then out of nowhere something's off and you're trying to figure out why. So this is a good example of what not to do. Yeah, see, these are all uniform. This is where the stretch and the squash start to happen. I don't have, these are too small. These three, 1, 2, yeah, these three are too small. So let's fix that. Alright, so this one is following this arc. Whereas this one, this is the very first ball test I ever did. I didn't use arcs at all, but you still get the general idea. Like, this is my very first one, so if I extend out all of the, you can see that there's some arc here, but not much. This could probably be moved over. So why don't we do that? Why don't we try to fix this? But yeah, this is what animation, or this is at least a very big part of animation, is just checking your timing and making sure that things make sense. So that's the video. Hopefully you guys learned a couple things that you didn't know about, or you experienced a couple things that are new to you and now you understand it better. So that was slow in, slow out, squash and stretch, timing, and arcs. And I didn't even get to go into full detail because I wanted to keep the video shorter, but keep on the lookout for a more in-depth explanation with more examples. And I'll be sure that anytime I animate something, I announce, hey, I'm using squash and stretch, hey, I'm using slow in, slow out. So that way you can get used to seeing it as it happens. In my next video, I'm going to go over more of the 12 basic principles of animation. It's going to be possibly anticipation, staging, secondary action, and exaggeration. That's a lot of important topics, but it's going to help your animations look the best that they can be. If you guys have any questions about these basic principles, or you want to point out some animations that you know use these principles, I'd be glad to hear your comments. If you can, like the video, please like it, and if you don't mind subscribing so you can be the first to know about my next video, that would be great too. Like I said, I'll be making videos every single week. Might start making 2, but that's all up to you guys. Thanks for watching. See you next week.